Shalom. I'm going to start off by saying Kahalayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rechakodash, double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well, who I learned this truth from, and salutations to you, Akim and Aquathium, that take this truth in sincerity. Coming back once again, this lesson was inspired. I'm going to speak in the Spirit, so wherever the Spirit is going to lead this, we'll see. But I was listening to the apostles' highways video from yesterday, and they mentioned something very interesting. Well, it's known, but it stems from Genesis 3 and 14, right? And the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, or unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Now the Most High is referring to actually nations. To prove that, you go to the book of Ecclesiastes. There's a lot of scriptures actually, but this is pretty concrete. It says, Ecclesiastes 3 and 18, I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, which are the nations, right, that the Most High might manifest them. So these nations are being manifested to be what? And that they might see that they themselves are beasts. Right? So when you read this scripture, this is referring to nations, and the serpent is referring to Edomites, because the serpent was a man who came back as Cain, and thereby came back as Esau, right? Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, which means a low state, because these Edomites, their inherent land is Mount Seir, Petra, right? Petra is Greek for rock. But Mount Seir is your biblical inheritance. But guess what? Your inheritance is actually going to be blotted out, and it will be given unto the tribe of Judah, right? The other nations, Elam's going to have their own land after they serve their captivity, after they make things right, man. You guys want to make things right? Well, guess what? Your sentence is 1,000 years in captivity. All right, and you're gonna be reminded every day what you did to the Israelites, all the things all the things you did. There's too many things, you know. Each day you're gonna be reminded, and you're gonna know why you're being punished, right? But you and these other nations, you know, Ishmael, Japhet, right, which was a progenitor of a lot of different nations, the Hamites, Moabites. They're gonna have their own land, their own ancient inheritance, because guess what? The Most High is still fair. He told you, and this is something you Edomites did, and this is why the Lord is actually doing it to you. Right? Man, I kind of forget one moment. This isn't the exact scripture, but this is actually good because it goes into it. This is Deuteronomy 32 verse 8, when the Most High had divided to the nations their inheritance, right? When you look on the ancient biblical map, you see Elam, Ishmael, and his sons. You see Moab, you see Ammon, Aram, you see Edomites, right? You see all the nations, the Hamitic nations, they have their respective inheritance, right? When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel, right? There's another scripture which this is referring to the Israelites, but it also refers to the other nations, right? This is Numbers 36 verse 9, neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. And this is something that's actually universal, right? There's a story, I believe it's in the book of Judges, where we were on the Moabites, and we were beating them down, and we started going into their land, and actually the Most High said, look, you can't go any further, basically, because this is their inheritance. We can't take over this part, and that's a Moabite, right? But like I said, this is why the Most High said all nations shall narrowly look upon thee. And let's get it, man, right? Let's get it. This is where the Spirit wants it right now. This is Micah 2:2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. This is referring to you Edomites, because you take more than you need. So all nations are going to look at you and they're going to despise you. You're going to be despised and be ashamed among the nations, right? You're going to be that person that everyone looks at and says, that's that piece of shit, right? That's that real grimy, just degenerate, man, right? That's how you're going to be manifested as, you Edomites, right? One moment. Yeah, Salaki, I can't remember the scripture, but you know, that's the point, right? That's what I was getting into. So going back here, right? You were in a confused state. You were on your belly. You actually weren't even walking, you know. And dust represents, when it says dust shalt thou eat, it represents confusion. You're literally in a confused state, man, until the Most High cleaned you up via the Israelites. Verse 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. So the serpent clearly had a seed, and that's what we go into, how he came back as Cain, and then once more as Esau. And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Right? Thou shalt bruise his heel. But the point I wanted to get was, look, there's a enmity, which if you look up the word enmity in the Hebrew, which means enmity or hatred. Hostility, enmity, hatred. Hostile mind. So guess what? These Edomites can never love you. And really, you're just in a confused state, because back in the day, Jakes actually hated Edomites. That was the thing, to punk Edomites, man. Jake, you Israelites, you had a hatred for Esau, because you knew in the spirit what the hell he's doing, man. It's in this day and age where your testosterone is depleted, you know, you're overstimulated and consumed, and you're just comfortable. So now Esau's your friend, and you're asking why is get rid of white supremacy, and you don't know what the hell is going on, man. Right? But this is that enmity and hatred. And another point is, you know, guys that talk shit about, oh, you guys have Moabites, Edomites, all these different nations and camps because certain brothers look like the other nations. Well, guess what? How are you going to have a true Moabite or true Ammonite or Edomite, a so-called white man, in the camp for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? You know? And there's no enmity between him and the brothers, man. That will always come out. That comes out on the highways, man. Esau, listen, we've had 100 situations where an Edomite comes up and either he's straight out the devil, or he comes up sly and humble, you know. And sometimes we might think you could be an Israelite, and then all of a sudden he just brings, his spirit just comes out, man. And he said, no, you know what, you're the damn devil, man. Certain Edomites come up and they say, oh, I'm Irish, or I'm this, and then they start cursing you out, man. And then there's certain cases where there were actually, I believe there were Israelite brothers that came up, man, and the rest of the brothers can attest to that looked like the other nations, man, and that were Gentiles, right? So that's the point right there, man. That was a good point that the Spirit showed me. You know, it can happen, man. That is another clear case, and this is that hatred that this man has for you, that enmity, right? That hatred, hostility, right? Oh, why do you hate us? Because of our skin? Because we're black? No, because you're a damn Israelite, or you're an Israelite and they're a damn Edomite. You know. Anyways, yeah, just wanted to bring that out. That was a good point. And there's one more thing I wanted to bring out in the spirit. And again, man, we've been telling you people, This is from ABC, right? Dodger Stadium reopens as COVID-19 vaccination site, one of the largest in the country, January 16, 2021. Look, all these things that you people, bread and circus, right? That's the term in Roman times. Give them bread and circus to distract them, right? Your NHL, NFL, NBA, all this bullshit. Look, all those big places, they're going to be used as checkpoints or detention camps, or it's not a joke, man. You know, Dodger Stadium reopened Friday as a mass COVID-19 vaccination site, which Mayor Eric Garcetti says will have the capacity to vaccinate thousands of people a day once it is fully operational. The site will be one of the biggest in the country, if not the biggest in the country. You know, I thought I'd bring that out just to show you, man, this ain't a game, man. that you know, that spirit and time of game and joy and mirth, that shit's out the window. So with that, I want to say Kahalalim, La Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Chakodash, double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well, and salutations unto hopeful elect out there. Shalom.